Kim.
And I'm Paul.
Thank you for joining us on our IU Showcase.
Make sure to stay updated on our upcoming productions. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Nina Guerra, and today I will be performing two contrasting monologues, one from the play A Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare and the other from the play Elsewhere by Adam Skimsowitz. Now please be advised these pieces do contain asterisks for frank talk of death, violence, and sexual situations. So if you feel as if you might be offended, please stop watching now. Thank you. And I proudly represent District 8, Troop 57, Sir, spare me your threats. The bug in which you would frighten me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor. I do give loss, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, first fruits of my body. From his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast. The innocent milk in its most innocent mouth, held out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed disstrumpet with a modest hatred. The childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here, to this place in the open air before I got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore, proceed. Whew. Oh, Teddy. We must live with the mistakes we make, okay? That is the lesson here. Oh, no, not for you, of course, but for me. You must live with the mistakes that you make. So I'm prepared to live with and maybe, even learn from this mistake. Okay, I'm beginning to think that some of my loneliness might be my own fault. But you would have left anyway, and that would have made me lonelier still. Lonelier than now? Perhaps not. I think nothing is lonelier than right now. I guess I should put you back on the ground. Just don't want to let you go. Let me look at you for a bit. That's right, shh, don't move. Just let me look at you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Addison Stone, and I will be presenting my scenic design for the musical Guys and Dolls, with a book by Joe Swirling and Abe Burrows, and music and lyrics by Frank Lesser. And I proudly represent District 8, Troop 5744. Guys and Dolls is a period musical that is set in New York City in the 1950s. It involves a group of gamblers, a group of missionaries, and all the characters in between. For the overall theme of my set, I wanted to make it super bright and colorful and reminiscent of the bright 1950s, because after the war ended in 1945, the latter half of the 1940s and the earlier part of the 1950s were a complete rebound. Everybody was trying to get away from the drabness, and everybody was trying to get back into the bright colors. So as you can see, I have a rotating stage with different scenes to represent the different places the characters visit in New York. I wanted to make the fact that the play is taking place in New York a big part of my set design. So as you can see, I have the New York City skyline in the back. It is painted a royal blue to contrast with the black in the set, and also just to make the set brighter overall. I also added the signs on the sides of the set to represent the signs that I would want going into the audience to incorporate them more in the story and the musical. I would have the lights be smart lights so that they're easily controlled and easy to use with the sign and the skyline. At one point in the musical, the scene changes to a little cafe in Havana, Cuba. So for this, I wanted to just transform Mindy's restaurant into El Café Cubana, which is the cafe. So what I did is I made a little sign that you can lay over the Mindy's on the wall. And I also made other menus to show that you're not in Mindy's anymore. And I have the Cuban flag that gets laid over the table. And then as you can see, I have my little palm tree just to kind of signify that they are, in fact, in Cuba. There are two musical numbers that take place at the Hot Box. The first one is A Bushel and a Peck, which is almost a farm-themed song. So I have 2 bales of hay to lay on either side of the little stage. The second musical number to take place at the Hot Box is called Take Back Your Mink, in which one of the lyrics is Take Back Your Pearls. So I have 2 little pearl hearts on either side for that number. At one point in the musical, all of the gamblers assemble for a midnight prayer meeting in the Mission. So I've made little wooden benches, almost reminiscent of church pews, so all the gamblers would have a place to sit. Another one of the scenes takes place in the sewers, so I have 2 little sewer pipes for the gamblers to crawl in, and there's a ladder so they can get on top of one. And then I also made a pipe formation in the back, which the gamblers can climb on and do some choreography off of, because the number that takes place in the sewers is Luck Be a Lady, which is a very fun number. I also wanted to take a little bit of time just to kind of explain how some of the set pieces were made. For example, the booth, chairs and table and walls at Mindy's and the Save a Soul Mission sign. What I did was I took parchment paper, I penciled on the design, and I let hot glue dry in a thin layer on top of it, and then I cut it out and painted over it to make it look like the set pieces in real life. Here's a closer look at some of the signs. I have a built-in walkway in between the 2 skylines, so the characters can walk through it when they're walking through New York. Here is a bird's eye view of the set, and here is a closer view of the flooring, so the audience in the higher sections can see it, and it's more believable for both the audience and the actors. Here is my street lamp and my street signs, which are made out of hardened and cut hot glue, and stop signs were actually yellow in the early 1950s, so here's my book, and I'm going to open it up and you'll be able to see my floor plan. Please pause and take a closer look if you'd like. On the next page, you will see my bibliography. Again, pause, take a look. Thank you so much for taking the time to critique. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is Addison Stone, and I proudly represent District 8, Troop 5744. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Villamizar, and I'll be singing Raise the Roof in the Play Wow Party. And I proudly represent Troop 57 44. Chatter. Can't you pitter patter. We're not here to eat. We came for the heat. Let's raise the roof. Let's make a scene. Let's hold the gun low, shine low, show the way. Let's call shots. Let's roll dice. Take my advice, it always pays to raise the roof. Rush the ice and sheet forever. Tell me where to go. If you need a new endeavor, I can teach you what I know. Grab a partner by the collar, bribe a barman with a dollar. Just like a mighty hollow, lead them to the trough. Till the clock goes off, let's raise the roof. Let's make a scene. Let's hold the guns low, shine low, show the way. Let's call shots. Let's roll the dice. Take my advice, it always pays to raise the roof. Let the neighbors scream and shout, here's what they do. If they don't see the lights, keep them up all night. So cut the strings and set the table. Down roses on the green. Welcome to our Tower of Babel. Learn the language, come one day. Spare me how the wind is blowing. When you make the whiskey flow, you may reap what you've been sowing. If you walk the plank, you got me to think. Let's raise the roof. Let's make a scene. Let's hold the gun low, shine low, show the way. Let's call shots. Let's roll the dice. The time for playing dice is done. Before the big hands will run, we gotta do what must be done. So put away that smoking gun. Let's raise the roof and meet the sun. Raise the roof.
Hi, I'm Daniel,
And I'm Nina.
and together we are
Guerra and Salute.
And today we'll be putting on a scene from the play Dirty Hands by Jean-Paul Sartre.
Please be advised, for this piece does contain asterisks for violence and frank talk of death. So if you feel as if you may be offended, please stop watching now. Thank you.
And with pride, we represent District 8.
Troop 57. Who is it?
Hugo.
Who?
Hugo Barn. Come on, don't you recognize my voice? Let me in. Let's have a chat. It's me.
You've changed a lot.
I have. You recognize me? Are you sure? Positive? So why don't you put that away?
I thought you got 5 years.
I did get 5 years.
Did you escape?
Escape? No, I'm not that crazy. They had to push me out. I got released for good behavior. It's empty.
What's empty?
This place, the furniture seems set in a desert. Here, come. Oh, that's right. Outside of prison, people live at a respectful distance. I'll have to get used to it again, speaking to people without touching them.
When were you released?
Just now.
And you came straight here.
Aren't you glad to see me?
I'm not sure.
So, what? In other words, you've just carried on living? You know, in prison, it's hard to believe people just go on living. Tell me, did you ever talk about me?
Sometimes.
You know, sometimes the rain would wake me, and I'd think to myself, maybe tonight they'll speak of me. That was my main advantage over the dead. After all, I could still imagine you thinking and speaking of me. Then one day you thought to yourself, when he gets out, he still has, 2 years? And when he gets out, they'll put him down like a dog for his trouble.
You're kidding me.
Come on, Ola, I know it was you that sent me those chocolates.
What chocolates?
The chocolates in the pink brandy box. For 6 months, I received packages regularly from someone called Dresh. Since I knew no one by that name, I assumed it was you, and it made me happy. Then the packages stopped coming, and I'd assumed you'd forgotten about me. Until, out of the blue, a package from the same address came. Inside the package were chocolates and cigarettes. I smoked the cigarettes while my cellmate ate the chocolates. They had a bad effect on him. Very bad. That made me realize that maybe you hadn't forgotten about little old me.
Well, Hoarder has friends who don't exactly love you.
Hoarder's friends wouldn't have waited 3 years to let me out on the all too well. And you've never liked me.
Hugo, did you really mean what you said? You did? Okay, so then why are you here? Okay, why?
Because I knew that you wouldn't shoot me. Or at least I don't think you can. You see?
Listen here, Hugo. I don't believe a word in what you've just said, and I have received no instructions in regards to you. But if ever I should, you must know that I will do as I am told. And if the party asks me, I'll tell them that you're here, even if they were to shoot you down before my eyes.
You wouldn't. Even with the strongest will in the world, you wouldn't be able to do as the party orders. You will go to Hoarder and you will put 3 bullets in his belly. Simple enough order, no? I went to Hoarder and I put 3 bullets in his belly. But not because of the order, because of a separate reason. The orders had left me. I went on and I killed alone. I don't even know why anymore. You know, I wish the party would tell me to kill me. Just to see what would happen.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amberly Seta, and I will be presenting a costume design from the play West Side Story, written by Arthur Lawrence, and I proudly represent District 8, Troop 5744. In this costume design, I decided to change the time period, but from the 50s to the 90s, and I wanted to do this because the 90s was a very vibrant era in which they wore brighter colors and different style patterns, and the 50s had many earthy tones and they wore simpler patterns. And you can also use the vibrance of the 90s to emphasize the characters' qualities and personalities, create a clear distinction between the 2 gangs, which are the Jets and the Sharks, and it can also add a lively feeling to the audience as they are watching the actors on the stage. And the 5 characters I decided to design for are Riff, Tony, Bernardo, Anita, and Maria. And the scene I chose was scene 4 from Act 1, which is also known as the Mambo scene. And since this scene is a more lively scene in Act 1, the brightening would be lighter than usual, which would also add to the brightness of the costumes, which would make you feel like you're more in the 90s. And this scene takes place in the late summer of the west side of New York. The first character I will be deciding to present is Riff, a quick-tempered, athletic leader of the Jets. He wants dominance over the Sharks and wants them gone. 90s men fashion was included but not limited to windbreakers, baggy jeans, watches, snapback caps, oversized plaid shirts, and oversized clothing in general. Footwear included Timberlands, Reeboks, Nike Airs, Fila's, and many more. For Riff's costume, I decided to go with an oversized windbreaker, denim jeans, Timberlands, a wallet chain, a watch, and a snapback cap to give him a more dominant and tougher look, since what he desires is for the Sharks to be gone. And in this scene, he actually plans to do a war council which will get rid of the Sharks once and for all. For his color choices, I decided to go with shades of blue because blue means loyalty, which is a quality that Riff shows but only to Tony and his gang, which are the Jets. The yellow in his costume resembles his qualities of protection, confidence, and bold personality, since he has protection over his territories in New York. And for fabric choices, I decided to go with ripstop nylon because it is a water-resistant fabric and it is also very lightweight as well, which will be very comfortable for the actors to wear on stage. And for his pants, I decided to go with a denim fabric because denim was also a very popular fabric in the 90s as well, and it was incorporated into many different styles and many different ways of wearing the fabric. The second character I'll be presenting is Tony, who is a former leader of the Jets and a romantic young man. He stepped away from the gang life to find himself a new lifestyle. For Tony's costume, I gave him a crewneck sweatshirt, jeans, and Reebok sneakers to give him a more put-together look. I chose this type of style for him to give him a more sophisticated look as well, to really show that he is trying to transition from his old lifestyle to his newly found lifestyle. For color choices, I also incorporated blue because blue not only means loyalty, but it also means trust, which is a quality that Tony has for Riff. I also added blue in both Tony and Riff's costume designs to show their cultural similarities. And on Tony's sweatshirt, the orange in the stripes stand for his optimism, security, and warmth, which is what he shows to his closest friends. For fabric choices, I chose a poly cotton blend for his sweatshirt because it is very comfortable, and since it's mostly hot in the summer, you'd want to wear very comfortable fabric. And for his jeans, I decided to give him a light wash denim as well. The following design that is being shown is for the character Bernardo. He is the leader of the Sharks, Anita's boyfriend, and Maria's older brother. He's a strong, proud, confident young man who cares for his gang and for his family. Him and the Sharks are originally from Puerto Rico, and they came to New York to find a sense of identity. For his costume, I gave him a white under t-shirt, a bandana, an oversized plaid shirt, black denim jeans, and white Nike Airs to give him a grunge style look, which is another fashion style in the 90s that was very popular, where grunge means oversized. The green in his costume resembles prosperity, and the pink and blue resemble his nurture and his warmth, which he shows to Maria and Anita. And the black in his jeans resembles his tough and powerful side when he's dealing with Riff, the leader of the opposing gang. I added the white t-shirt to even out the colors, and also the many gang members in the 90s wore bandanas, hence the bandana that he's wearing in his head. For fabric choices, I decided to go with denim again and cotton for the plaid t-shirt and the white cotton t-shirt underneath. And I chose these fabrics because cotton is a very lightweight fabric and very breathable. And since it is the summer of New York, which can be very hot, you'd want a very breathable fabric as well for the actors. The next character is Anita, who is Bernardo's girlfriend, and she is a bold, feisty, and flashy character. 90s women also included crop tops, halter tops, dresses, t-shirts, spaghetti straps, bangles, big door knocker earrings, and many more accessories as well. Footwear included sandals, Doc Martens, and flats. For Anita's costume, I decided to give her a halter top neckline, strappy sandals, big door knocker earrings, and a tied plaid oversized sweatshirt around her waist to add to her flashy personality and to also resemble the grunge style fashion in the 90s as well. I incorporated red for her dress because red resembles love, passion, and strength, and it is also a very important color on the Puerto Rican flag. The ruffles on the bottom of her dress resemble her Spanish culture as well. The pink in the plaid shirt resembles her nurture, as she sees Maria as a younger sister and gives her advice to help her move on with her life as well. The purple in the plaid shirt resembles her extravagance and charm, because in this scene they are dancing and they're having fun, and she's dancing with Bernardo in this scene, and you get to see her extravagance and charming side as she is smiling and having the time of her life. And I did all of this to show Anita's flashy personality. And for fabric choices, I decided to go with cotton for both the plaid shirt and her dress, because cotton is a very lightweight and breathable fabric, and you'd want something very comfortable for actors to wear too, as they are dancing and moving around a lot in this scene. And I added bangles, because bangles is also a very fashionable and trendy accessory in the 90s as well. Last but not least is Maria, who was Tony's love interest and Bernardo's younger sister. She is pure, innocent, and she wants a romance with someone that she truly loves. For her outfit, I decided to give her scrunchies, butterfly clips, a white spaghetti strap dress, and an undershirt with a puka shell bracelet and ballet flats. I decided to add white for her spaghetti strap dress because white resembles her purity and her innocence, and in this scene she's actually the only person that is wearing white. For her undershirt, I added flowers and the color of pink to add to her gentle and feminine side, and flowers also resemble purity. The puka shell bracelet that she was wearing resembles hope, and in this scene Maria is very hopeful that something good is going to come out of this dance, since this is her first dance. The butterfly clips in her hair resemble the change, because in this scene, as she is sharing a moment with Tony, who she meets for the first time, you sense a change that between them, and something may happen for the better or for the worse. The fabric choices I decided to use are cotton again, because again, cotton is a very lightweight, breathable fabric, and since they are dancing in the scene, the actors would want to wear something very comfortable. I added butterfly clips as the accessory and scrunchies because they were actually very trendy and really common fashion choices for girls, for a lot of girls who were in the 90s. In my workbook, I also have a bibliography of all the sites I've used to help me with my research and my inspiration and my thematic statement. All these colors, fabric choices, accessories, and footwear and clothing styles were all made to show the vibrance of the 90s and each and every character's personality. Thank you, and thank you for critiquing my piece.
Hello, my name is Brendan Willorea, and I'll be presenting a playwriting piece titled The Ballad of Slip Wilson. So, The Ballad of Slip Wilson did not start out as a play. Originally, when the pandemic started, we were doing a playwriting festival at our school, and I needed a way to do a performance without having my actors or a stage. So I looked for inspiration in the classic Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio series, which I'll get back to later. It's my second index card. And I decided to create a radio play. So if you look at the play, you'll notice a lot of the scenes take place with around tables, people talking. It's very reliant on the dialogue. I don't have my zany prop comedy skills. And I think it was quite the challenge to be able to write a play that's so reliant on just the dialogue and the sound effects, but I'm really proud of the way it turned out. And once I added in the stage directions and the things happening in the background, I think it turned out into a very nice piece. So after making the transition to a stage play, I stood back and looked at my inspirations. So one thing that you might be able to find some inspiration in is the movie National Treasure, starring the great Nicolas Cage. He had some funky ideas in there. I have a joke about the U.S. Constitution having the keys to rewrite the U.S. government, and just tons of wacky historical facts that make no sense. Got it from National Treasure. Another big one was the movie Casino Royale by James Bond. That movie's a very serious spy thriller that takes place around a poker game, and while I originally wanted to do a poker game, I thought it wouldn't translate that well as a radio play, so I decided to make it something much more simple for the audience to follow along, which is why I ended up going with Go Fish and then later Uno. And finally, the inspiration that I use in every single one of my playwriting pieces is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but this time it's not the book, it's the audio play by the BBC, and if you listen to it, it's very creative with how it retells the stories of all the books just through audio alone, and it really allowed me to get a feel for the medium before I started writing. The characters. Slip Wilson himself is very off-the-cuff, loose, Ferris Bueller type agent. I kind of wanted to put an 80s movie star into a 60s spy thriller and see how that played out. Very proud of his chemistry with Hades, the Greek god of death, who may seem like a bit of an oddball choice to throw into the middle of the Cold War, but what is art without a few risks? And Nikita Khrushchev, our classic enemy, he's there to take down the USA. He embodies the Red Scare, but he's not such a bad guy. And there's some other characters, but they don't have that many lines, so we don't need to talk about them. So, why did I go so zany? Well, when you're writing for audio only, you need to have things wacky to keep the audience engaged because you don't want them to tune out. And it just keeps things fun when there's nothing for the audience to see, to focus on. I made some very strange choices to anyone familiar with concepts such as story structure or writing a plot, because I kind of remove a very important section of the play where there's a whole section where Slip and Hades become great friends, and I decided it would be important to the story to show that, but it would be funnier to not show it, and it really subverts the expectations of anyone watching this play. But the way that they interact before and after the little piece of narration by John F. Kennedy, who is our diligent narrator, it really creates a contrast between the before and after, which is I found the comedic potential was more important than having that cohesive dramatic story, which we were never really going that dramatic anyways. Thank you for your time, and that's me signing off.
Hi, my name is Nineveh. And my name is Lucy. And we will be performing a duet musical entitled One More Kiss for the Musical Follies, written by Stephen Sondheim, and we proudly represent Troop 57. 44.
My name is Jenny Lynn Garcia, and I will be presenting to you my makeup design for the musical The Little Mermaid, and I proudly represent Troop 5744.
Hello again. I am so excited to show you these designs, so let's dive right into The Little Mermaid. To begin, this is my inspiration board, which I chose to include the unique characteristics of each Mersister and what they represent. The 7 Mersisters in the musical are based on the 7 seas. The characters I chose, Arista, Aquata, and Alana, represent the White Sea, the Coral Sea, and the Black Sea. This helped when choosing different colors and textures in my designs. For the character of Alana, she is based on the Black Sea. The Black Sea was given the name by the Greeks due to the slow rate of decomposition in its lowest levels, causing that dark color. The storms and dark waters cause an impossibility to travel in the sea. This association with dead fish and difficulty navigating is what inspired me to make the choices I did. For the character of Aquata, she is based on the Coral Sea. The Coral Sea is known for having the most beautiful coral reefs, containing the Great Barrier Reef, which is the largest reef system in the world. This inspired brightness and color saturation in this design. If I were to compare designs and concepts of each look, this would be a direct contrast of Alana. For the character of Arista, she is based on the White Sea. The White Sea is known to have a layer covering the sea in ice for the majority of the year. It's also known for having a white color due to the reflection of the northern sky. I incorporated this into my design, focusing on ice and the cold. For Alana, I chose to do this compass rose design on the eyes to represent what the Greeks said they were seeing. The black color inspired the black arrows pointing to the cardinal directions. The difficulty of navigating that caused the Black Sea to get its name inspired the cardinal directions pointing to inaccurate and the wrong directions you see. The other eye is them trying to navigate but failing. I used the blue and red arrow to represent polar opposites and their struggles. I used a brown for the scales along with earthy tones to represent the dead fish and dead life in the sea, rotting away. For Aquata, I did bright colors to show how alive the coral sea is, with all the life in the coral reefs. On one of her cheeks, I drew coral to represent what the coral sea is home to. I used anemones and digitate coral reef images when taking the types of strokes and lines I should be doing in my coral reef designs into account. On the other side, I did the scales pinkish purple tones to match the aesthetic of the overall look. I used bright blue glitter eyelashes for this look to keep this look the most bright and colorful look of the 3, as the coral sea contains the most amount of bright coral reefs and life. To complete this look, I used pink as the contour to match the look overall. For Arista, my main color aesthetic was using silver and blue shades in the look. I used the crystals again, but this time I use it as a representation of the ice crystals in the White Sea. Since they are all sisters, I wanted to have one common thing in between them all. So I used crystals in different ways for all 3 looks. I did a light blue wash of eyeshadow on the lid to keep a cohesiveness in the look. I did scales in the shade blue using silver as a highlight. I did a light blue wash on the inside of the lips to represent frostbite due to the cold of the White Sea. I used a blue as the contour to complete the look. I have here my concept statement and the step-by-step instructions for each of the makeup looks in the binder. Instead of keeping my pictures in the binder as I would handing each binder to each of the judges, I decided to upload the pictures after the video with the final look so it is easier to view an uploaded image instead of a video of a physical one. So for my scale prosthetics that I made myself, I decided to get some oil-based clay, and I got some clay carving modeling tools so I could be able to control the exact depth and shape and angle I wanted to make them at, as you can see here. I took some liquid latex and poured them into the mold that I made and left it there until it was completely dry and all the same color. And then I later on got some baby powder, moving it around the edges and around the entire back to make sure that when I could get a sturdy grip of the edges, I could pull it off without worrying that it was going to rip apart. Here I'm using the Athena painting palette to paint the scales. For all the painting of the scales, I use the same palette, just alternating colors depending on the look. To attach the scales to the skin, I decided to use spirit gum to attach, but I also used liquid latex not only to attach the edges to the skin, but I really wanted to give the illusion that the scales were underneath the skin, breaking through to be seen. I would just like to say thank you so much for your time and stay safe.
Once again, I proudly represent Troop 5744. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Samantha Simon, and today I'll be presenting my student choreography In Pursuit of Excellence from Children of Eden, music and lyrics by Stephen Shorts, and I proudly represent Troop 5744.
I've been watching you for a while now, my pretty little miss. And I've got to tell you this, you make me want to kiss. Your endless curiosity is fast becoming tiresome. Knowledge, dear, is power, and it's high time you acquire some. Dum, 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 dum. Lesson 1 for free. Repeat it after me. In pursuit of excellence. Excellence is what I wish.
Hello, my name is Lucia Mollet.
I'm Anna De La Rosa.
I'm Sophia Rubio.
And today we will be performing an ensemble acting scene titled The Role of Della, written by John Wooden. And we proudly represent,
For the last time,
Troop 57,
44.
Excuse me? Oh, no, don't get up. I saw the door open and I'm a little early, so you know what? I'm gonna come back
Do
later.
you have your audition card?
Yes, of course. I wouldn't lose it. Some girl offered me $50 for the card, all for a chance to audition.
Hand it to me, please.
Right. I must say, Miss Stewart, it is a great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. The card?
Right, sorry, I'm just a little nervous.
That's all right. I understand.
John Wyatt says hello. He's doing great, actually.
Do you have your headshot?
Yes.
Oh no, I need your headshot.
I don't understand.
I need your headshot.
That is my headshot.
No.
Yep, that's me.
Really? You've gained a few pounds since this picture was taken, haven't you?
I'm sorry?
What role are you interested in?
Della.
Della. Really? The ingenue?
Yep.
Okay. Why not?
Good morning, my name is Elizabeth Ryan, and today I'll be doing
Let's
this
just do the monologue.
Right. You neither think nor talk like a man. I could bind you myself.
I'm sorry. Is there something on my face?
Is it okay if I direct my piece to you?
What do you think?
And then we
Do you have anything else? Something from the 20th century? I hate Ibsen. If Nora were a true feminist, she would have smothered the children and had her husband killed.
If you'd like to give me some direction with the piece,
No. Tell me a story. Something funny.
Funny?
You want this job, don't you?
Of course.
Then make me laugh.
Let's see. When I was a little girl, I had a friend named Carol. So Carol and I snuck up to the basement and we found this old dollhouse. So we creeped downstairs and we cleaned it up. Carol also had a pet mouse named Binky.
Let me see a southern accent.
So we dressed up Binky and stuck him in the miniature hall closet and then we shut the dollhouse up.
Let's see a little Spanish.
La grande jefe de
No. I don't want Spanish dialogue. I want a Spanish accent. Comprende?
I can't do a Spanish accent.
Then at least show me you have some energy. Like, act the piece out.
So then Binky escaped and then ran towards Carol's mother's boss who jumped on the couch. And then she just leaped and then the spinach stepped and then the salsa tip all over. And then Binky ran with
No words. Couldn't think of anything funny, huh?
Why are you being so mean to me?
Mean? Am I being mean? I'm sorry, Elizabeth. Please continue your quaint little rodent story.
I don't want to. I'm leaving.
Leaving? You sure?
If you didn't think I was right for the part, you should have just said so.
Right. You're perfect.
Really?
Sure. There's no doubt in my mind that you think you're perfect for this role. But out of fairness, I have to end out the day. I'll call you later tonight. Mind you, it will be late, between midnight and 4 a.m. Make sure you're awakened by the phone. If you don't answer after the first ring, I'll offer Della to someone else.
Don't worry, I won't sleep a wink.
Good. All right. Run along now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Stewart.
No. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Sorry, I'm a little early. The door was open. I thought maybe I should be upstairs. I'll wait outside.
No, that's okay. Do you have your audition card?
Yes. I must say, it's a great pleasure to meet you, Miss Stewart.
Well, thank you.
John Wyatt says hello.
John, how is he?
Great.
Well, do you have a picture for me?
Yes, of course.
And what piece are you doing?
A short selection from Doll's House.
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Emma Wins.
Wait, what role would you like to be considered for?
Della. Thank you, judges.
Hi, my name is Samantha Santiago,
And I'm Jose Somoza,
and we'll be performing a duet musical entitled First Impressions from the musical First Date.
composed by Alan Zachary and Michael Weiner, and we proudly represent District 8, Troop 57.
44.
So, do you agree with Kevin?
About what?
Am I really cute?
What? You can't just ask me that!
Why not? You said you were an open book, so am I?
She's a little artsy. She's hip and cool. She's just like all those girls that ignored me all through school. She's kinda indie and pretty hot. She's a lot like all the things that I am not. There's some Asian symbol tattooed on her wrist. She's got the kind of look that says, hello world, I'm pissed. She's sorta hostile. Her guns are drawn. Is it weird or just screwed up that I'm turned on? But that's just a first impression. I could be totally wrong. It's only a first impression. And maybe she's a stuffy, unconservative, way uptight girl who's still a virgin. Never goes past second base, suppressing every single urge until she marches down the aisle and finally ties a knot. She could want a giant family, be an Oprah devotee, hell, even have a PhD. Yes, that's who she could be.
I'm waiting.
Yes, you are very pleasant looking.
Pleasant looking.
No, I mean attractive, desirable, stunningly beautiful. How about D? All of the above. And what adjectives would you use to describe me?
He's a bit annoying and overdressed. He's got the kind of vibe that says, look at me, I'm stressed. Really, there are just so many adjectives to choose from that I wouldn't even know where to start. Probably likes to cuddle, long walks in the park, and if he likes sex, then it's only in the dark. But that's just a first impression. I could be totally wrong. It's only a first impression. And maybe he's a nasty, uninhibited, ferocious tiger in the sack who rides a Harley, hits the gym, and makes his money dealing crack to wealthy kids in private schools who treat him like a god. He could kick some ass just like Bruce Lee, engage in online piracy, and not take any shit from me. Yes, that's who he could.
That's who she could. That's who she could be. But that's just a first impression. I could be totally wrong. It's only a first impression. And though the impression is strong, it never can hurt to question. Though I doubt this will lead to romance. Sometimes the one who seemed great are a nightmare to date.
Either way, I've been burned,
But the one thing I learned is oftentimes first impressions are worth a second glance.
It's worth a second glance.
Second glance.
It's worth a second glance.
Second glance.
It's worth a second glance. It's worth a second glance.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kailani Pino, and today I will be singing a song titled Calm from the musical Ordinary Days, music and lyrics by Adam Guan. Please be advised that this piece does contain asterisks for foul language and frank talk of death, so if any of this may offend you, please take the time to click off now. Thank you, and I proudly represent Troop 57, 44. So, I am on the 6th grade heading uptown to my lit professor's office. It's like light years off of campus, don't ask me why. I'm sandwiched in between this guy who's literally cruel against some European hipster who, well, let's be honest, smells
best. I wish I could take a second to get calm. But it's not working, cause like clearly I'm a magnet for a special breed of psycho who thinks being weird's a valuable use of time. And my notebook likes to wander on its own across the city, taking with it my whole thesis, which I need to write like now. I don't remember the Muppets getting hives when they took Manhattan, but my own diagnosis says I'm creeping towards psychosis because I cannot find a place to get calm. It's really hard, you know. I tried to take up yoga, but you'd be surprised how many folks don't think yoga is zen. I even saw a life coach who told me I should breathe, just breathe. But every time I took in a breath, I visualized that life coach is deaf. She's having lunch at Cafe Pierre, and she's choking and choking and choking and choking till finally she's calm. I'm sorry. Anyways, I get to my professor's and he sits me down and tells me that my thesis on Virginia Woolf is somehow false. And I tell him what I'm working on is not so much thesis as the fact that she went crazy, and that seems, well, apropos. My professor just tosses back his head and a dry Manhattan. I wonder which will kill him quicker, the Big Apple or the liquor. When suddenly I panic and I tell myself I must get someplace calm. I up and run toward Penn Station like I swear my head was ready to blow. And I hop a train to Jersey just as fast as any person can go. And 90 minutes out I get off at some provincial hamlet I've never heard of. There's a real estate office right on the block. I can afford a 2-bedroom. I go into shock. I think, what the heck? I write a check, cause there's sunlight and closets and laundry, but mostly it's calm. Calm. Really calm. Strangely calm. Like Times Square at 5 a.m. calm. Like seriously freak me out calm. Like I'm gonna slowly go crazy and throw myself over a balcony calm. Damn it. So I tear up my deposit and I head back to Penn Station. Of course, the subway's broken, so I walk 4 miles home. And like 14 hours later, I get back to my apartment with my crazy, spastic roommates in a room, well, of my own. I've got this black and white poster on my wall that says my Manhattan. So I give it the finger, but I let my gaze linger. And I notice how the people look like tiny specks of gray, all haphazardly arranged, just like they were in that Monet. And suddenly I'm struck with this bizarro revelation that like Warren's whacked out theory might deserve some exploration. I sit on my bed and I realize I'm finally calm. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Morales, and I will be presenting my costume designs for the musical Everybody's Talking About Jamie, written by Tom McRae and composed by Dan Gillespie Sells. And I proudly represent District 8, Troop 5744. Everybody's Talking About Jamie deals with themes of acceptance, the gender spectrum, drag, and accepting who you are despite what everyone else thinks. Because of this drag influence, I looked a lot into drag culture, into the plays with gender and androgyny and gender bending. I wanted to implement female and masculine ideas of society and fashion into my looks. So I incorporated fabrics, colors, and classical, if not stereotypical, icons of men and female fashion into every design, but twisted them to be more androgynous and whimsical for the feel of the show. For my first costume design, I did Jamie's costume in Act 1, Scene 1. In this scene, Jamie is told by his teacher to give up his dreams of performing and pick a job that is more pragmatic. Since Jamie is stuck in this environment where uniformity is celebrated, I wanted his costume to represent a hidden side of him and the pressure of uniformity. I did a classic British school uniform and did research on what British students are expected to wear. I used a gray cotton with this minimal plaid-like pattern for the jacket and a black cotton for the shorts. Both of these fabrics are lightweight enough to make moving and dancing easy for the actor. These fabrics are dull and drab and will make Jamie look less vibrant, especially under the harsh lighting in the school scenes. And finally, we have this pink and gray printed floral cotton poly blend for the pocket square. This represents Jamie's hidden femininity and his desire to be a drag queen. Pink and flowers are seen as precious and are usually synonymous with womanly attributes and ideals. By putting it in his pocket, this shows that Jamie is hiding that part of himself. This dress is for Jamie or Mimi's first drag show in Act 1, Scene 9. The script says that the dress is red and show-stopping. The dress originally belonged to Jamie's drag mother, Loco Chanel, which is why I chose to add parallels between both garments, which you'll see later. At this point in the show, Jamie steps on stage despite his entire school coming to the show to bully him. So I kept it red because red shows power, boldness, and strength. This exemplifies Jamie's courage in this scene and how he is finally accepting his feminine side. I knew I wanted to use a stretch fabric because it is used so often for drag costumes and dance costumes, since men have larger bodies and it's easier to fit. So I settled on this bedazzled charmeuse. I also chose this maroon cotton to add more variation in the color scheme and made it a scrunchie to reference Jamie's youthful nature. I also decided to add mesh socks because it's a big trend in fashion right now, and I wanted the styling to feel modern and fresh, just like Jamie. I also decided to add beads as a play on the classic pearl necklace and as a feature for Jamie's dance sequence. This is a great garment to end Act 1 because it has movement, feminine attributes, and shimmers under the stage lights. My next costume design is for Jamie's drag mother, Loco Chanel, also in Act 1, Scene 9. For this look, I took a lot of inspiration from old school drag, especially comedy queens like Trixie Mattel and Bianca Del Rio. I used a deep purple to symbolize royalty and to contrast with Jamie's powerful, bold red gown. I included some parallels to Mimi's dress, including the pearls and the mesh, while making it more matronly and elegant. Her beads are arranged to allude to 1940s shapewear and bathing suits. I found this inspiration by looking at pin-up photography. The majority of the dress is made with this purple floral lace and will be lined with this black liner. I also used this black sheer mesh to expose some skin and add visual interest. For this costume design, I did Preeti, Jamie's best friend, for Act 2, Scene 4. Jamie is feeling dejected in this scene about his dad's rejection, his fight with his mom, and Mimi's ban from the prom. This scene is also where Preeti confesses that she chooses to wear her hijab to feel unseen and hidden. She also says that she has always seen Jamie as beautiful, even before his drag transformation. I added star patterns and accessories to give a nod to her nerdier side, and also to indicate that she sees Jamie as a shining star, even if no one else does. In most productions, the lighting and set have multiple hues of blue, so I wanted to use blue in her outfit to show how she fades away like the character's motivation. I also specifically chose navy blue because it is a trustworthy color and symbolizes support and serenity. I wanted to do a play on jeans and denim because they are very practical and durable, both traditionally masculine qualities, and both are exemplified in Preeti's nature and aspirations. And finally, for my last costume design, I did Jamie's prom dress. This is for Act 2, Scene 10, Jamie's prom. Since Mimi was banned from the prom, Jamie shows up in a simple white dress according to the script. Most productions show Jamie in just a regular prom dress, but I wanted to take a more abstract approach. This scene is the first time in the show where we see Jamie presenting femininely without hiding behind Mimi. He's not gaudy or flashy, he's just Jamie. He even says himself, "I'm just a boy in a dress." I was inspired by the New Look silhouette by Dior, as well as the classic men's button-up. Since the script does not explicitly state where Jamie gets the prom dress, I decided to interpret the story myself, and say that Jamie ripped up a dress shirt and a house dress to create this look. He used the sleeves to make a kind of evening glove, which I think is the kind of ingenuity only a drag queen could come up with. For the bodice, I used cotton because it's simple, structured, and more masculine, and for the skirt, I used a satiny charmeuse that will drape really well. I also used a black stretch fabric for the accents. I decided to use a black and white color palette to add the luxury and simplicity and to reference yin and yang, the opposite yet equal forces. The forces in this case are men and women. By blending male and female tropes, I created androgyny. Androgyny is used very often in drag culture and has become increasingly popular in the mainstream. This dress makes it clear that Jamie can be a man and wear a dress or be a drag queen. It is a beautiful blend of everything Jamie is, and it was the perfect way to show off the beautiful duality of Jamie's gender and to end his character arc. This is my workbook, and this is my theatrical statement. Everybody's Talking About Jamie tells the story of Jamie, a teenage drag queen who just wants to wear a dress to prom and be a star. This story tackles issues of bullying, acceptance, drag, and gender. I was hugely inspired by the character arc Jamie goes through with gender expression and wanted to implement that idea into my designs. I took inspiration from classic symbols of men and women like pearls, suits, and vintage silhouettes and twisted them to fit androgynous, fanciful outfits that still fit into the world of the show. By doing this, I hope to help the audience see the flow and ease of the gender construct, especially within the character of Jamie. For my bibliography, I did research on understanding the Muslim dress code and to understand the character of Preeti, the styles of drag, 1950s fashion, and gender studies. And once again, this was Brian Morales presenting my costume designs for Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Thank you guys so much for giving your time, feedback, and expertise and judging these pieces today. Have a great day. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kristen Rumbis.
And I'm Milo Rothenberg.
And we'll be performing a duet musical entitled Beautiful from the musical Ordinary Days
by Adam Guan.
And we proudly represent Troop 57.
44. Hey. This one.
Really?
Yes, this one.
This is your pick out of all of the paintings we've seen. This is it.
Yes.
Out of hundreds of paintings, your favorite painting is this piece of...
Hey, what's wrong with it?
Well, it's a little bit boring.
Then you must be ignoring the most important bit.
I don't see it. Warren, we've been walking around looking at statues of angels and portraits of kings. So you can choose anyone. You're standing in front of this painting of everyday things.
It's beautiful, right?
No, it isn't. It's plain.
Well, part of our trip to the Met is I got to explain.
Here we go.
So, this is a painting of what?
It's a painting of apples.
That's right, that's right. So the artist has us looking at what?
Boring everyday things.
Well, yes.
And your point?
The point is that things aren't beautiful all on their own. Beautiful comes from reflection. Beautiful takes a person who makes connection. You know what I mean? For beautiful to happen, the beautiful has got to be seen.
Okay, I like that shade of red right there. The spot where the apple is peeling. It's deep as an ocean, but lighter than air.
It's simple, familiar, and full of feeling.
The color of Saturdays here at the Met.
The color of shouting from rooftops. The color of feeling that life is okay.
The color of an ordinary day.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amelia Vial, and I'll be presenting a solo musical titled Life of the Party from the musical The Wild Party, music and lyrics by Andrew Lipa. And I proudly represent District 8, troop number 57, 44.
Who needs money? Nothing. Who needs fortune or fame? I don't need a new career, a sympathetic ear, a name. All I need is time to play.
Don't you wanna be the life of the party? Don't you wanna be the cream of the crop? Don't you wanna feel those shivering fits till someone calls it quits or someone calls the cop? Don't you wanna land the role of a lifetime? Well, you better get down on one knee, 'cause you could play the life of the party if you can pray with me. Ooh, who needs lovers? Not I. Who needs heaven above? Don't have time for things unsaid, for baking bread, for love. All I need is room to fight, hand in fisted glove. Point me to the sky, it's my turn to fly. Don't you wanna be the life of the party? Don't you wanna be the top of the heap? This is where the jamboree never ends. Why not be counting friends instead of counting sheep? If you wanna join the heavenly choir, hurry up and get yourself in line. But don't you pass the life of the party until you pass the line. Let the dreams pour, let the crowds roar, let the heavens wildly cheer, till the sunrise brings the goodbyes. I'll be here, never fear. Who's it gonna be? The life of the party. Who's it gonna be now? The king of the hell. Don't you wanna be there running the show until it's time to go or till it's time to kill?